One of Biden's biggest cheerleaders heading into this election cycle, is kind of losing some luster. It would sure seem, especially from, when she was one of the biggest talking points right at the beginning of the year, especially with her Super Bowl winning boyfriend, which for some reason, probably because, they're probably getting paid fairly well to stay together, haven't broken up at all whatsoever. And in fact, he's currently on tour with her over in London when she's not choking on flies. I wish I was making that up, but it's kind of a funny story in and of itself. But what's even more hilarious is now how she's trying to make herself the avatar of the working class. It's like, listen, man, it just shows you that, greed affects everybody in different ways. And when you have the entire world at your fingertips, some people just don't know when to stop. What is it? Okay. Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. I think it's Law 46. Nobody likes an overachiever, or once you've achieved your goals, stop. You have the most financially lucrative demographic at your beck and call. You have every single white woman at the ready the moment you snap your fingers, and it has made you, yes, a billionaire. So why are you trying to attract any more insufferable people? It doesn't make much sense, man. Okay. Billionaire Taylor Swift called out as a phony after leading crowd in a F the Patriarchy lyric chant. Seriously? Really? Okay. Somebody who got famous for their inability to select the right guy is going to go ahead and blame the entire system instead of herself. Maybe there is a reason why she is the quintessential woke white woman. Anyways, billionaire Taylor Swift has been going viral for months as social media videos show the pop sensation leading sold-out crowds at her Eras tour, singing the F the Patriarchy lyric from her song All Too Well. That's a thing? Okay. Now Swift is being called out by critics as a phony. Controversy reemerged Sunday night at Wembley Stadium in London, England, with some of the crowd left wondering how she could be so quick to denigrate men and the patriarchy that had helped her prosper on a global scale. And this realization was coming in London of all places. Press X the doubt. But yes, prosper on a global scale, see her fly by private jet from gig to gig, even as she claimed to speak out against critics and their own indulgences. The song All Too Well, which features on her fourth studio album, Red, that contains the lyrics, "You taught me about the past, thinking your future was me, and you were tossing me the car keys, F the patriarchy keychain on the ground." Yeah, I've never heard that song in my entire life. It all sounds really lame, and anybody thinking that she's bigger than Michael Jackson should probably get their head checked. The Daily Mail reports that the track was a popular fixture in her live set. The 34-year-old drew a mixed response after encouraging 88,000 predominantly female fans at Wembley to scream its final line in defiant act of apparent rebellion. "Come on, guys, chant along with the system how we should burn down the system." Sure, many critics used the clip to show of her show in Liverpool to highlight their critiques. "We're so loud, it's crazy." Yeah, just weirdos on Twitter. One less than impressed onlooker of their dismay after noting that it was probably men who built the set to enable her social critique. Yeah, or if you're at Wembley Stadium, yeah, I don't think there were a bunch of Beatrices and Gertrudes helping to, set up the girders of those hallowed legendary halls. Just saying. Rachel Wilson, shout out. Okay. Taylor Swift's career would not be possible without all of the men who built those giant sets, drive them in the semi-trucks cross country for her tours, light and sound engineers. Now, the world would make her a success. The world that makes her success possible was invented, built, and is maintained by men. And another reason that, she's at the place that she is right now and why she gained an even larger public figure earlier this year was not because of her own popularity, was not because of her own prominence. It's because she was taking tight end dick. It's kind of ironic, but hey man, if she's saying down with the patriarchy in such colorful language, maybe she's just talking about how she likes to take the patriarchy down on her side, hanging out a window. Another queried how someone who had financially benefited from backing of both sexes could be so bold. Oh yeah, because she doesn't care, bro. Others were quick to follow. Taylor Swift sings F the Patriarchy and gets a bunch of impressionable young women to sing along with her, demonstrating she's a complete imbecile, knows nothing about how to function, societies are built, and shouldn't be influencing your children. But yeah, there's a reason why the Biden administration are more than willing to try to get her to do anything that they can for his floundering campaign, because, yeah, as cringe and insufferable as she is, she has that demographic wrapped around her ring finger, because otherwise it would be empty, and it probably will be after the election cycle. Let's not pretend that that's any kind of a real, stable, actual relationship. But while I can continue to dunk on Taylor Swift, nobody's going to do it quite as well as an actual rock and roll legend, somebody who is also selling out stadiums, somebody who is actually based and will always have a soft spot in my heart. Even though I'm not like the biggest Foo Fighters fan, I do like, especially, compared and contrasted to his former band, I like the Foo Fighters a hell of a lot more. He told an exceptionally touching personal tale about Lemmy at his funeral, so, he's always going to have a little bit of leeway with me, even though he kind of insufferable in other senses. But Dave Grohl mocks Taylor Swift during a Foo Fighters concert we actually play live. Oh man, come on. She gets her acoustic guitar out every once in a while and mindlessly strums along. Remember how Taylor Swift got onto the scene, bilking country music crowd, just being, the little quaint singer-songwriter, and now she's turned into that one of those coastal elites that Twitter wrote songs about being out of touch with all of those years ago. So funny how all of that stuff always seems to come back around, right? Dave Grohl, the lead singer and guitarist of rock band Foo Fighters, took a swipe. Well, he also plays the drums every once in a while. I think mostly. It could have just been with some of the earlier records where he just played all of the instruments and he just had his touring group, but whatever. Took a swipe at Taylor Swift during his band's concert in London, England on Saturday night. Interesting how all this stuff pops up at the same time, suggesting the pop star doesn't put on real live performances, telling fans we actually play live. I mean, we were joking about Taylor Swift tour earlier. Grohl told fans in between songs of the recent Foo Fighter show in London, "I know that she's on her Eras tour. I'm telling you, man, you don't want to suffer the wrath of Taylor Swift." Yeah, because you guys play on the same radio airwaves, right? For as edgy as some boomers might think the Foo Fighters are, it's like, come on, any modern rock, it's all indistinguishable horseshit anyways. I guess the comment that he said, okay, yeah, the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl, implies that Taylor Swift doesn't play live during the band's show in London. We like to call our tour the Errors Tour because we actually play live. You better have got a rim shot off of that one, because that's not bad, especially if it's off the cuff. But okay, Grohl, who is the former drummer, of the grunge rock band, went on to joke about the Foo Fighters calling their tour the Errors Tour, and noting that he and his bandmates make mistakes, not as much as one of his previous bandmates, while performing live, because they actually play instruments during their show. We like to call our tour the Errors Tour because I feel like we've had more than a few eras, and more than a few errors as well. Just a couple. That's because we actually play live. What? Just saying, we're a live band. Times like these, singer said. You should have went into the Pretender right after that. That shit would have been hilarious. You guys like raw live rock? You guys like some rock and roll music? You guys right place. Well, there's a known Swift Grohl feud. I'm sure all the Swifties that are out there are just immediately burning their dad's Foo Fighters albums. Some fans surmise that the Foo Fighters, a founder, had taken aim at the Cruel Summer singer. She's got a song, Cruel Summer. That's Ace of Base shit. Hack. Singer in the wake of the 17-year-old daughter being harassed by Swifties after she criticized the pop star for flying private, Deadline reported. Oh, really? Yeah, because there's a sane group of individuals. Notably, there are moments in which Swift pulls out a guitar and sits at a piano to play live during her concerts. Yeah, there's moments during her entire stage show. But unlike Grohl and his bandmates, most of her live performance typically consists of the singer dancing, sure, rather than playing a musical instrument. Well, she just kind of walks around on stage. I've seen clips. Yeah, that's all modern pop stars anyways. And ancient ones like Madonna. It's far more pathetic when you're 9,000 years old. She appeared to offer her rebuttal to Grohl's comments during one of her own recent concerts in London, where she took a moment to acknowledge the people who play live instruments for her while she sang and danced to her songs on stage. Every one of my band members, every single one of the crew of my band who's going to be playing live for the next 3.5 hours tonight. She had 3.5 hours worth of songs? Christ almighty, man. Like, I love Priest, okay? I love the Stones. Except, hell, even Motorhead. I don't think physically I could stand to listen to a 3.5-hour Motorhead concert, mostly because I think my eardrums would explode. I don't want to listen to any of my favorite bands for 3.5 hours. Holy shit. They deserve this so much, and so does every one of my fellow performers. Oh, shut up, you holier than thou, dumb old hag. But yeah, man, it was a funny little offhanded comment. That was probably all it was, but the Swifties are weird people, man. Probably try to spin this into something else, and I'm sure it's probably not all that long before, Dave Grohl ends up posting receipts of death threats that he's seen from those very reasonable individuals. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.